Warning: the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
And we welcome you episode 177 of the Coach's Box. Call it as we see it. Tonight's topics, we don't know what the topics are. We'll get to that here in a little bit. That's why it's called Ideas Galore for Topics, because it was one of those days. So I'm Jim Powers. Glad to have everybody joining us here on a Thursday night. End of the basketball season's coming up here. So Zach McVey, Coach Kevin Halley joining us. We're going to try and squeeze some stuff in first before Heckle and Jekyll join us possibly here in a little bit, because Chris has got a game right now and Jarvis is at a district draw.
Yep, that's true, fellas. How we doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I've made too many decisions today. I pressed too many buttons today. I'm going to screw something up here.
Kevin's just along for the ride right now. So.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get through the back end of the basketball season. I forgot coaching again was this much of a grind. And
at this point in the year
right now.
For basketball, yeah, because if this were any other sport, you'd have been done for a month.
Mm-hmm.
Swimming is done this weekend. It's beautiful.
If it were softball, you'd have been done 2 months ago.
Right. Hey,
and that's why you, my friend, are the best coach in the area, because you coach that.
Yeah.
Best coach on the show. Well, think about this. I mean, this is the season where it's 60 degrees one day, and then tomorrow we're supposed to get 3-4 inches of snow. So
3-4? What?
Yeah.
It's like adjusting to an inch.
I may get 2 inches here. You guys down in Jeffco are only going to get like sleet.
Hey, yeah. I'm shooting for 3 to 4.
We're going to
have a virtual day.
We're going to be at school, Zach.
Zach. I will make the text message right now saying, you can't cancel school now. McVey's running his gums already. Even though I will say there's a bunch of St. Charles schools that have already canceled. Wentzville's already canceled.
That's what I'm saying. Up north, they according
down
to Fox
here,
too, they said about 4 inches, especially on the Illinois side. So
and on the north side of 70, there's already a couple of schools here that have called off for tomorrow. Yes. So I think
shocking development.
Listen, schools not named Kingston have already called off for tomorrow. So Hillsboro's off for tomorrow. Crystal City's an AMI day. So
in this day and age with virtual learning, better safe than sorry.
Sure,
but
here's the conundrum though.
Okay,
you got for the small schools classes 1, 2, and 3. Tomorrow is your last regular season day.
Yeah.
You start your district tournament next week. So there's going to be if games get bumped, there's going to be a lot of scrambling. Like, with 4, 5, and 6, next week is, their last week of the regular season. We're supposed to play tomorrow night.
Right.
And we're trying to figure out what we're going to do in case we don't play tomorrow.
I don't think there's going to be much difference for the small schools. I think if tomorrow gets bumped, they're just going to cancel. They're not making those up. And a lot of schools move games off of the Friday of district week because districts used to start on Saturday.
Correct.
And Friday was only meant as a last minute snow day type of thing. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. And I think that I think they'll get that sorted out and figured out. But we're hosting a wrestling district tomorrow, and we've got 15 schools from DeBurgh up in the north to New Madrid County Central from the south, getting here. And Misha has said you have to be done by 7:00 Saturday night because teams leave on Tuesday to head to Columbia for state.
Wow.
So you can't push. You have to do it tomorrow, or you're doing your entire district tournament on Saturday. And in some of these facilities, we're the only one that put in for it. 2 mats. Saturday, one day is not enough time to get 15 schools through. So they're coming tomorrow. I don't care. They're coming tomorrow. Am I day or not? I've got to go get it taken care of. So I've got stuff I've got to do to help with getting that ran and pulled off. So I'm going in tomorrow.
Get the dog sleds out and ready to go.
That's wrestling. Let them just do it in the parking lot, snow style.
They'll be giving you some extra money for helping with this, Mr. Assistant AD.
I am technically, I guess, listed as an assistant AD on the Mission website, but it's only for tech. It's only for tech support and help. That's it.
Hey, you got to start talking about what's the rate? What's the going rate now?
Going rate is I get to do whatever I want whenever I want. Yeah.
Sounds like how do I work that in? That's what I want to know.
You just got to be a former AD in order to get it taken care of.
Well, that's
so Jim could do it.
If I could do it, anybody could do it. Let's just put it that way.
If Chris could do it, anybody could do it. He's not here to defend himself. Let's just hammer on him.
Right.
We hammer on Jim when he's not here.
It's almost like Festivus right now. We can air the grievances without Jarvis or without Miller here tonight. This is beautiful.
Well, hey, speaking of airing out some grievances, I mean, let's talk about the fact that it's cold here, but it's warm down south, and pitchers, catchers, they showed up. They're starting some spring training. I've got this question for both of you, and I'm curious to get your opinion on it. Jim, you're up north of the Merrimack. So I'm going to trust your judgment and wisdom on this. So the radio brought this up, and I think it's an interesting saying. And they said that what they try to do with the Cardinals roster every year is raise the floor. And they're talking about this year about pitching. So it's not so much trying to raise the ceiling. Yes, you get the players once in a while, the Arenados, the Goldschmidt, but for every year in and year out, you're trying to raise the floor. And so my point is,
so you're trying to make the bad better?
That's the theory behind it.
That's how I'm reading it.
Right. And so, I mean, you look at the pitching staff from last year to this year, what got better, and you're basically saying the floor, at least on paper. So, I mean, what do you guys think of that? That was intriguing today, listening to that on the radio on the way home. And I thought, you know what? It's going to be us tonight. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
They are better this year than last year. I think they are. I think the pitching staff is better this year than last year. Do I know how much better? No, I don't know. I think they could be much, much better. Now, what also is the floor got lower in essence because the Central Division got weaker.
Right.
So that will help. We'll look better because our opponents will not look as good. The best deal Chicago made was to hire a manager and then didn't put anybody around him. So there's still a lot of moving parts. There's pitchers, free agent pitchers, Snell and Montgomery to name two that nobody's and say what?
Trevor Bauer.
But I mean, even with those two, Texas apparently came out today and said, we're done. So he's got no shot at going back to Texas from what they've said in Montgomery. I mean, So I would love to see one more pitcher brought in. And I would think that maybe they're waiting until the last minute. It was like, hey, we can get them for this. We can get him cheaper because it's last minute just to get him on the team. And I think that's probably maybe what they're waiting for. But
I don't want to wait.
I don't like the term. I don't like the term of raising the floor because I don't think it's a terrible way to look at it. It's like we're just looking at the low end and hoping we're better on the low end. Right. As opposed to let's take the ceiling and close the gap. I would do something. That type of phrase would be better, but raise the floor doesn't. It just means, hey, we're bad. We're trying to be better than bad. So
I think we will be slightly better than last year. I still think that they were grave digging and digging up bodies to put on that pitching staff. I mean, It's not. I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm not trying to be the negative one here in the group. But if you're going to start throwing money around, okay. Now the Sonny Gray, I'm okay with that move. I think I think he could pan out from everything I've been hearing. He's really getting along with everybody. But my gosh, what are we doing with the retreads? What are we doing with bringing Matt? What is Matt Carpenter going to bring to this team other than being the grandpa in the clubhouse?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what they're doing with this.
But you're taking up a roster spot that you can utilize somebody else. Get a utility infielder.
Well, I mean,
the outfield's set.
I don't like the Matt Carpenter deal. I don't know that it fits with what we want to do. I do understand that if he's in the right mindset, him being in the locker room could be extreme help, especially with the loss of Wainwright in that locker room. If you're still trying to stay connected to that Cardinal way.
Okay.
So I think
that's my question. I mean, look at, again, you said retreads, Jim. You brought in all these dudes that you go back to being successful and being in the program when it was successful, whether that's the players or whether that's now you bring in some of the guys on the coaching staff. Is it a situation where, because I know we brought this up a lot last year, is there leadership? And if there is, who is the actual leader? Are they bringing these guys in to try and create or develop leadership for a Goldie, for an Arenado, or for somebody else that's even younger, like maybe a Walker or somebody that's going to be around? Like, what's again, I would say, what is the point and purpose of what you are doing? And answer those types of questions.
Right.
Because
and once again, and maybe they did bring him in, and maybe they brought him in to be that buffer because Marmol. I mean, I hate to say this, but I still think Ollie Marmol is learning on the job. I think that's got a lot of people still hot and bothered. You're bringing in some of these guys to try and make his life a little bit easier as a buffer, so to say. But some of the decisions he makes are just god awful terrible. Let's just put it that way. You play into the analytics way too much, and I know we're going to get into the analytics later on when we talk about the Super Bowl. But when you start looking at analytics too much, it's going to turn around and burn you, and that's what happened to the Cardinals on a lot of occasions last year because Marmol is learning on the job. He's a great guy off the field. I just question the leadership in that clubhouse, whether those guys are really on board or whether they're not going to be. And we'll see that pretty early in the season because their first month is not the easiest first months to start the season off.
No,
it's actually one of the tougher starts of the season. Yeah, it's one of the tougher starts of the season in April that I've seen in an awfully long time. And we'll get a chance to see real quick.
Mm-hmm. And that was something else that they were talking about floating around the idea of a 6-man rotation. Now, is that because of the age of the pitchers? Is that because of the tough early schedule? And they said they don't expect to see it come May. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You've got your 5 guys. Let's just say you've got your 5 guys that you want to be on the rotation. You got to get through a spring training healthy first. And I don't know about you, but I can't remember a spring training where everybody shows up and they go through it, they're healthy, and everybody is ready to go day one.
Well, I kind of expect the high top end pitchers to be in a little bit better place this year. One of the reasons the pitching wasn't great last year, especially at the top end, and that was across baseball, was because of the World Baseball Classic.
Sure.
Those pitchers didn't get that spring training like they normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came in after already been through a competition. And so they didn't get the same start. I think we're going to see a better situation moving forward this year with a true spring training. What I think the 6-man also allows at the beginning of the year is you're looking at someone as that 5th man. Is it Matz? Is it Thompson? Is it Libator? Which one gets that 5th spot? Which 2 other ones end up in the bullpen type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it 2 out of the 3, depending on how the other ones fall? So I think they want to see what those 4 and 5 spots hash out to, and you got to put them in meaningful games in order to see that. And I think that's a good opportunity with a tough schedule that's jam-packed to start the year. I don't know that outside of that day after opening day, there may not be a day off in the first couple of weeks. So I think
I'm
that
looking that up
they're
right
trying.
now.
Yeah, I think they're trying to mitigate that situation, and I'm 100% okay with it because I'd rather them look at that situation now than in June and July when one of them goes down, and then you got to try to shove Matthew Liberatore in. At least you know whether he can do it if he's part of that 6-man early in the season.
Well, and that's the other thing they were talking about, the young pups down in the minors, and like you're starting to get, I guess, maybe even a backlog there. And when are you going to say we got to find out? Are you going to bring up Tink Hen? So you're going to bring up those guys that there's another guy that's a fireballer that they're high on, and it's like
Graceffo.
Yeah. So is that a spring training situation? Is that hey, they look good, let's put them on the opening day roster? I don't even know if some of those dudes are even on the 40-man to begin with. So
Right.
I think that's why you saw 1-year deals or 2-year deals with Gibson and Lynn is because you weren't sure about those guys. So you needed something that was only going to be a 1-year, 2-year deal. And, you're not going to sign some of those other guys, lock them in for 3-4 years, what they wanted. And then you can't bring those guys up next year or even later in the year after they've gotten some more seasoning. So I understand why they did that. It doesn't look great optically for your pitching staff to the fan base after you said that you're going to try to be better and do these things. But I understand why they did it.
So here's the schedule. So they open up West Coast swing, Dodgers, Padres, play Miami to open up the home schedule, then Philadelphia, then you go Arizona, you go back to the West Coast, Arizona and Oakland. Home, you got Milwaukee and Arizona, then you go to New York and then Detroit. In the first month, the Cardinals only have 4 off days. That Friday after the home opener, and then the next 3 Thursdays.
Which that seems different.
2 West Coast swings in the first month.
Normally, there's like 2 off days in that first week because you have somebody else's home opener that you're playing in, and then you get the day off after that, and then you have your home opener, and you have the day off after that, and it's
they play.
So
they've got a 4-game set against the Dodgers, 3 games against San Diego, and then they hop on a plane, fly home for the afternoon game on April 4th against Miami.
And that
schedule, that's a brutal, brutal April.
And we know because we all coach, and it's that saying of you can't win a game in the first quarter, but by golly, you can lose a game in the first quarter. And again, you can take out quarter, you could put in first month of the year, and that's a tough. I mean, I remember who was it, Tampa Bay a few years ago that started out super hot. They were like 20-3 or 20-4 or something, and they were able just to kind of cruise along for a little bit.
They were the weather the storms later because you start 7-15 to start the year. You're climbing out of a hole the entire year, and it gets really muddy trying to do that at some point.
Dog days in August,
Yes.
Well, talking about that, here's how goofy the card schedule is. In June, they only have 2 off days the whole month. 2 off days the whole month. It's almost like Jarvis sitting on the stage while his JVs are playing.
No. That would be the Chris Miller. That would be the Chris Miller.
That definitely is not Jason Jarvis. I do not do that.
Hey, Jarvis, you can't say anything to me anymore about that. You got the head coach just all nice and relaxed sitting on the stage. I'm thinking,
what are you talking about?
Oh, Chris's ball game tonight.
Now here it is.
I was going to say, well, not me. I don't do
not
that.
you. No,
I'm not too big.
By the way, Hazelwood just canceled school for tomorrow. There is a glimmer of hope in Jeffco.
No, there's not. We're not getting anything. It's staying north.
I'll explain off the hours. I'm not going to school or nothing tomorrow anyway. But
it's called a PTO day, baby.
Well,
but that schedule is brutal.
Hey,
we'll bring Jason Jarvis up to speed. We're talking about the Cardinals. Go ahead.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about the Cardinals.
Well, you joined late. Too bad.
Yes. So,
Oh, I was just going to bring breaking news of the Class 4 District 2 seed meeting and just tell you what the seeds are.
we'll get there in a second because I got breaking news with a state record that was set tonight. Up here in
I
St.
already know
Louis.
about that too. My gosh, you're slow.
So, all right. Well, let's finish up with the Cardinals.
Yeah,
we'll go
let's
to
finish up
break,
with the
and then we'll
Cardinals.
come
We'll
back.
do
to
break.
that.
You want me to
Talk
talk about the
baseball.
Cardinals? Let's sign Trevor Bauer. That's what I'm saying.
Jeez. Let's add another retread to the
Well,
whole mix.
I'll take him.
Did you just say retread? He better than anything we've added.
Yeah.
We'll
Well, I
agree
mean,
with you on that.
you've still got some. We've still got some different types of pitchers that still have free agents haven't been signed. Montgomery's still sitting out
Yeah,
there.
Simon Montgomery. What did he do?
Blake
Oh.
Snell's still sitting out there.
Yeah, Montgomery didn't pitch well in the playoffs. Oh, wait, he may cost some money. Dull wallet.
Jeez.
Dull wallet.
But
Hey,
so
we needed some entertainment on the show. I already got a text about how boring it was, so I was trying to get it as fast as I could.
Hey.
Ah! Just joking.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
so all right. So let's make some pre-spring training prognostications here.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
I thought we did this already, and you guys all laughed at me on what I thought they were going to do.
So I'm going to pose them in the form of questions here, just yes or no.
Okay.
Okay.
Do the Cardinals win the Central?
No.
I say no. Come on, Jarvis. You know, does the fact that you look constipated on live TV right now, that's your answer?
Hey, we're not Jim. This is not live TV.
Sorry.
Yes.
Live Facebook here.
Yes, they
Live
win the
Facebook.
Central.
Yes, they win the Central because the rest of the Central is just that bad.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay.
I understand it's just that bad, but no, they're not going to.
Okay, then
Yes.
who wins the Central then?
Chicago.
What, their manager going to play for them? He's their best player right now.
I was just throwing out somebody. I said the Cardinals. I said
Yeah,
yes.
I said I'm with you. I think the Cardinals win the Central.
They did enough to win the Central. That's all they care about.
I don't know. I still think all roads go through Milwaukee.
I don't think they've lost.
No, they lost.
Okay.
Top half of their pitching staff.
Here's why. Okay, doesn't matter because here's what I'm going to say this.
Then
What
don't talk about
type
the
of-
Cardinals pitching staff.
What type of because I'm going to ask you with this. What type of offensive lineup do the Cardinals have? Do they have a lineup that can score 4.5, 5 runs a game?
Yes.
Yes.
If they play small ball, they're not going to play small ball. I don't think you have a big bopping lineup.
I think they can do it without.
Yeah.
We lost Jim.
Yeah.
Yep. I think they can score 4.5 without having to play small ball. I think that they can score 4.5 runs in 9 innings. I think they can do that.
I do too.
So
All right.
You got Gorman, you got third baseman Arenado, and you got the first baseman. There's 3 boppers right there.
Yeah, and I still think I think Walker's going to have a big year.
Yeah,
I think
and so
Gorman's going to have a big
And
year.
so does almost every analyst that's talked about Walker.
And I'm going to say I think Newt Barr is going to have a big year.
Oh yeah. What
Oh,
about
you gotta be
Contreras?
kidding me. You're all freezing.
So
There he is.
Everybody's freezing.
What
Everybody's
about
He's
Contreras?
now Contreras, I think he'll be. I don't think
He'll
he'll
have
have
the same
the
year he did last year, if not better.
Yeah, I think he'll be the same year. Jim awake?
Yep.
All right. We'll ignore him. It's like he's not even here. We'll pretend like it's the usual.
It's like it's
And
the last
once again, the
week.
silliness starts.
So okay. All right. So then who wins the NL?
Dodgers.
Dodgers.
Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, it ain't the Cardinals.
I didn't say it
And
was
why?
Cardinals.
And why do you say that? Why do you say the Dodgers and why do you say the Braves?
I think the Braves have the best lineup
Thank you.
in baseball.
Yeah. I mean, they got again. They've got
LA's
guys
pitching staff is going to be pretty lit. And
when
they're
they
gonna
get healthy.
Yes,
can be-
and
if
they'll
they
get
can be
healthy
healthy.
at the end of the year.
They weren't.
And-
If they weren't healthy last year, I don't think they're going to be healthy. I don't know that they can stay healthy. I think they use the same training staff as the Blues and the Cardinals.
I don't think they have that bad a training staff.
So, but I'll be interested to see the way that they manage that staff there in LA if they can stay healthy the whole year. And they've traded away just about everything they had in the farm system too. So, all right. What about the AL?
Oh man,
I like some of the moves Baltimore did.
you have to think. I mean, Baltimore they won 101 games, and look at they still
They
have all
added
these
Burns,
stud.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
They still have all these stud prospects.
Well, that's part of the
come
other issue too. Is Peter Angelos is finally selling the team, and they're finally opening up it's almost like Baltimore and St. Louis were the same team.
We flip flopped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's like what the heck? But I mean, I think Baltimore's going to be really good in the AL East.
I wish the wallet would sell.
I you know what I gotta say Texas. I mean, Texas is going to be top to bottom, pretty doggone good when you look at their lineup, and then when you look at their pitching staff. I mean, they're going to be awfully tough to beat in the AL.
It's tough for me to say this. In fact, it pains me to say it, but Houston, I think, will be there at the end as well.
I think they're going to be good too.
I think that ALCS will be Houston and Texas.
There you go, Blues up 4-2 now. Yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news.
Well, hey, that's what I do.
All right. So who wins it all? Who are we going to be talking about the first week in November winning the World Series? Kevin's going with the tomahawk chop in Atlanta.
Kevin, I mean, I kind of like it. I kind of like the Braves. Jarvis, what do you think?
Even though you said
Jarvis?
the Dodgers? You're picking a team to win that you didn't even have in the World Series.
He's flip-flopping.
Yeah, early on.
I
say like
Baltimore. Flippity, pop.
Call me LeBron.
Oh. All right, Jarvis.
I hate LeBron.
Who you got, Jarvis?
I got the Dodgers.
For once, I will agree with Mr. Jarvis. I got the Dodgers as well.
So
does Ohtani ever pitch again?
No.
Nope.
Out of the pen.
Maybe.
Come in and close it?
I would say yes, but I think that puts. I think he would pitch occasionally. He's like middle relief type of thing.
Really? All that money?
I think closing is it was stupid to pay him the money for that.
Yeah,
but especially closing is too much up and down and stress on the arm to do it 4 nights a week versus once every 5th day.
Yeah.
So,
well, that'll wrap up segment number 1. When we come back, we'll have Jarvis's breaking news out of their district draw. We'll talk a little bit about Incarnate Word and what they did, and we'll jump into some high school stuff because a lot of big things coming down the pipe over the next couple weeks on the high school side. So we'll step aside, and we'll come back here in a moment. You're watching the Coach's Box. Call it as we see it right here on Facebook Live and all of our other platforms. We'll be back in a minute.
All right, let me see if I can do this.
Off the Rails Media.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Someone!
That's broken too, pal.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636
337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Hey guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Casey Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings, we got great pizza, we got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow, we got games, we've got lotto, we've got cold beer, we've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out, check out the weekly specials, barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
And we're back for segment number 2 of the Coach's Box. Jim Powers, Jason Jarvis. We got Zach. We've got Kevin Halley. And Kevin producing tonight. He sent us a note saying, God, I hope we can get back on the air after the commercials. It's too easy. Yes, that is why you are the IT director, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, so easy man can do it, right?
Yep.
Hey, he went to a Holiday Inn Express last night to learn all this stuff.
No, YouTube, man, those commercials are crap.
Hey, speaking of commercials, real quick, and I know we want to do local stuff, and we can do the Super Bowl later. What was your favorite Super Bowl commercial?
Hands down, Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. I like the M&M too. Like the first.
Yeah, the M&M one was good.
No,
but Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep. All the extras. Did you see all the extra clips or parts that they left out too?
Yeah.
Did you see the one where they put like the old style? Remember how we used to do, put the tire up and throw through it? Damon couldn't do it. Affleck wouldn't even try, and Brady's just zinging him. You know, that by far is the best commercial, without a doubt. And it's so. But we'll get into that. We'll talk about Super Bowl and
5-2 Blues.
5-2 Blues. More breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. You get all the breaking news right here on the Coach's Box.
Off the Rails Media, baby. One of the best media companies in Jefferson County.
We are the best media company in Jefferson County.
Sure.
So because you know why? We're free. And we give great added value. That's all I'm going to say. So
quality.
All right, high school stuff. First off, we're all coaches. Incarnate Word absolutely destroys Ursuline tonight, 75-32. They won on like a 30-3 run from midway through the first quarter to the halftime. It was just ridiculous. They've now set the new state record, 124 wins consecutively.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, it's ridiculous. Number one.
Wait.
Okay.
Here we go.
It's ridiculous. Are they a public or a private school?
Here it is.
Okay.
Stop.
What are they, Jim?
They're
a non-public.
They are a non-public entity.
No, they're private.
They're non-public entity.
You have to
According to Misha, they are non-public.
Non-public.
Okay.
That's right. All right, Zach, go ahead.
This is me, and I know, Chris and I have already talked about this, and Chris is like, whatever. This is me. Okay, now that I have said record, okay, I've got the record. I have to go put together a schedule where I lose. I just have to. I have to go put together something somewhere. If I have to travel
they are traveling, Zach.
I know they are, but a handful of games out of the 26 that they play, they're still playing a boatload in Missouri. The only teams that I'm playing in the state are probably my conference games because I have to, and then going into the state playoff, unless there's some Missouri rule that
they still
says
play.
They
the Rockbridges.
They play at the West
They're
South
beyond
tournament.
that. I am calling up every single top 25 school because they are a top 25 school.
Right.
And I'm saying, call it. Listen, we're going to get on a plane. We're going to come travel to you. We are going to do that because again, I want to get on the national stage like they did when Collier played. I want to get on the national stage. I want to get on TV. I want to promote these kids. I want to get all these kids, out and about. I have nothing left to play for. I've set the record. I've got all these state titles in a row. I have to beef my schedule up. Just like I say when I'm in the opposite end and a cellar dweller and I have to change my schedule so I can compete, I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm going to go play everywhere. I'm calling everybody up. Number 1, let's play. No, number 2, let's play. Down the line.
But Zach, they're doing that. They're playing the top teams in Kentucky every year. They go down to Louisville and play a weekend down there. They go out to Kansas.
Didn't they go to Hawaii?
They've gone to Hawaii
every other year.
Right.
They've gone down to City of Palms to play down in Florida. It's not that they're playing a really, really, other than the conference. And yes, without a doubt, there is nobody in their conference that is going to come close to them.
Mm-hmm.
But what has John Burroughs done against them? Not once, but twice this year already.
Right.
Played them within 5
Taking
points.
them to overtime.
Played them within 5 points. They play coming up on Wednesday next week at Burroughs on senior night. And that, but Zach, I agree with you to a certain extent, but Dan's already playing some just elite top level competition.
First name basis right there, baby.
That's right. That's called big time.
Yeah, how much did he beat
I
you
could
guys
never
by?
get
We
Dan
didn't
to
play
return an email.
We know better.
I could never get him to return an email. So,
but
well,
but the thing,
I think, but another. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Jim.
the thing is, like the Webster tournament. You got Rockbridge in that tournament. You've got Burroughs in that tournament. You've got Cardinal Ritter in that tournament.
Edwardsville, I
they're
think.
Edwardsville didn't
they're
play
past
anymore.
that.
I understand.
They're on a
that.
national stage. I'm
But-
looking.
Hey,
You guys
that's
go
fine.
ahead. I'm
That's
looking
fine,
up. I'm trying to look
but
up.
they are
how
not.
many
They are
games.
not on a national budget
Right.
either.
You got to remember,
What?
you only
They're
have.
private.
You only
Thank you,
got
Jarvis.
They're small.
Thank you, Jarvis.
They're a smaller school than. They're a smaller school than
That
us.
doesn't
Yes, they
mean
are.
nothing.
That doesn't mean anything.
in an area that doesn't necessarily. I mean, it's not like they're in a high in a
My
fluent
Lord, the
area.
excuses are coming out.
Thank
like,
you. I was going to say,
my
I hear
Lord.
you, Jarvis. I hear you. I don't want to hear. I am playing. Listen, you talk. I'm going to find out how many non-Missouri teams they played.
So
They
I'm
played
just,
they played twice in Kentucky. They played twice out in Kansas.
Just look
and
it
they
up,
went,
Zach.
and they went out to California. They played at least 7 out-of-state games this year.
You get 20.
You're also
it's on
talking.
the schedule. They
Huh?
played 7.
You're also talking.
They played 7
You're also
out-of-state.
talking about a high school
7
team.
games.
Yep, you're a high school team that has to have kids that go to
This
class.
isn't Link
and you can't
Academy.
travel all over
This
God's
is
green earth.
Inspire. This is not IMG. They're not going to
They're
do
at
that.
that level. They're at that
They-
level.
they're
And they
at-
can do it all online. You're that good. Listen. They are that
get
good.
it.
I'm praising them to the point that is who they need to play. If you can go travel 2 hours to Columbia, if you can go travel 3 hours to wherever, then you can do that all year outside of your conference because that's what they should be doing because they're that good.
Did you ever have an answer, Zach?
With what?
How many
7
out-of-state
7.
teams?
Yeah,
7?
that's it.
7 out of 26?
25. They played 25 games this year.
Okay, so they got one snowed out or something.
They left one open just in case they needed something.
Oh, in case they wanted to go somewhere and play some real competition.
I don't know.
So over a quarter of their schedule.
Yes. And then
I
you've
don't
got
know, I'm
over,
not good at
you've got
How many conference games do they play?
Let me look it up.
I think 7.
So over a quarter of their schedule.
And then you've got the
5
Viz
conference
tournament, which
games.
is a 4-game.
5 conference.
So 20% of your schedule is
You've
is
got
conference.
You've got 4 games in the Viz tournament. You've got 3 more games in
I'm
the Webster
gone.
tournament.
I'm gone.
No, they will never leave the Viz tournament.
All I'm saying
that's a
is
tradition
I don't care. I don't care about the AV 90 some odd years. South Iron
It'd be
should
like
be
Park
out.
Hills pulling out of the
Yeah,
Park Hills
exactly.
tournament.
I am a national brand. I'm a national team. I'm going to go play national competition. Why are we defending? They have 124 wins. Like, why are we defending? In my opinion, we don't need to defend it. They are that good. You need to go play somebody that can beat you.
So you're saying that they get 26 games on their schedule. They get 26 games on their schedule. You are saying 21 of them should be out of the state, travel, not being able to go to school, having to pay to fly and do these things.
Never happen.
That good.
It will never
Shut
happen.
up with the online thing, because you know that's a stupid reasoning. So
it will never happen.
They're that good.
Volleyball teams are that good. Should they be traveling and staying online?
They do. Some do.
Yes, and you would absolutely complain as a teacher if you're having to have those kids in a class doing it. Yes, you would.
No.
Why?
You do now.
Why? All of his kids are on their phones anyway. What's the matter?
You're complaining about a virtual day.
I'm wanting a virtual day. I'm wanting a virtual day.
You're complaining about whether we have one or not.
Saying we should.
Well, he's going to complain no matter what.
He's
That doesn't
gonna
matter.
flip,
It could be any day. That guy's going to complain.
Oh, pot calling kettle black over there, Jarvis. What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought I was just going to get roasted for something.
I'm not complaining about days. I'm not complaining about nothing.
Oh,
I thought we were talking local. Incarnate Word ain't local to me.
I'm going to say
they are local.
Oh, they are to you, big time. They're not to me. I can care less. I don't care how many games they won.
Listen, they're local to Jim because they're north of
they're
the Arnold Melville line.
They're north of the Merrimack. That Zach's not allowed to
I don't go across the Merrimack unless I have to.
That's another topic for another day.
That's right, sir.
But you cannot also take anything away from what Coach Rolfs has done with that team and that program over all these years.
100%. 100%.
And you don't think and there are times where maybe he will try to do it a little bit more, but I think trying to do it 21 times is a little bit unreasonable.
Not going to happen
and unrealistic.
That
but if you can get to maybe
after 124 wins,
it's not going to happen, Zach. The administration will not let them miss that amount of class.
we got kids. We got kids all over the country missing 30, 40, 50 days, and they just move them run through. What are you
that's
talking
because
about?
they're Link Academy or their Spire or their.
I'm talking about kids that just don't
What are you talking
show
about?
up.
There's regular ed kids.
That's what I'm saying.
Days.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
Ferris
They're
Bueller.
walking across the street to get that diploma.
Thank
Like
you.
everybody
Ferris
else.
Bueller only missed 9 days. Come on now. Incarnate Word can go out and travel.
Ferris
They
Bueller.
get home
Great
games
movie.
too, you know. They get home games
Great
too.
movie.
Incarnate Word is not Bishop Sycamore, and I don't think you can
Because they win. Because Incarnate wins. Well, okay. Why are you guys so against this? You're
Because
talking
I'm not
about
against it.
124
It's just
wins.
not realistic.
They are educators first, and they want those kids in the classroom because they got to get to learn on.
Student
Hold on,
athlete. What is the first word in that little phrase, Zach? Student or athlete? Student is the
Good
first
thing
word.
we're not talking about college because student athlete is gone.
That's
I was
gone.
gonna say, hold on,
No,
time
that's a
out.
different
These,
story.
hey, time
That's
out.
a-
These
that is a
girls are going
100% different
D1. You
story.
think they're going to any regular ed classes in college?
Basket
No,
weaving.
they're on online classes. You know
Basket
why?
weaving
You know why?
101.
Because they're traveling. Because they're traveling to their games all year.
That's fine at the college level. It's a different. It's
Oh,
stepping up
my
to the next level.
gosh.
So you give me 15 years, Zach, and you're going to start calling for middle school teams to start scrapping and playing.
If they win 124 in a row, they probably should.
All right.
Yeah, well, maybe if they're all playing the JCAA small schools all the time, I don't know. Sometimes.
All right.
But
I want to
All
hear
right.
Jarvis.
Listen.
I want to hear Jarvis. How did your district draw go? Since we're going to go to Jeffco now and be local, live and local.
Well, this is Jeffco and MAAA, so we're down a little bit south. You know, we're staying way past that Merrimack down here. So the number 1 seed, to no surprise, with 2 wins over Park Hills, is Potosi. And they are the host school.
Potosi is.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow.
What?
Well,
people don't want to go down and play Park Hills at Park
Wow.
Hills.
well, that'll be an off-air talk.
Coaches speak over
Yes,
here.
sir. 2 seed is Park Hills. Obviously, both teams very, very solid. Very good records. Play tough schedules. Potosi's got 2 wins on their belt that were pretty easy for them. The coach they were coaching against was terrible. But that was 2 of their wins. But anyway, 3rd seed Afton. Really, I think none of us. I don't think they played anyone in our district except Bayless, and so they were 10-10. So they're. I mean, by default, they had the best record of all the rest of us. So they're the 3rd seed. We are the 4th seed at Hergy, and Bayless is the 5th. You could have flip-flopped those either way. I mean, Bayless beat us by 8 the first time. Then we beat them by 39 in our tournament a while back. So I have Bayless at 5:30 on Tuesday, the 27th. And then your last seed is St. Clair, the 6th seed.
6 teams in the
6 teams. So 1 and 2 get a bye, and 3 and 6 play. 4 or 5 play that first game on Tuesday, the 27th, 5:30 and 7:30 at Potosi High School.
So Afton and St. Clair travel to play at Potosi, and then you're traveling.
And us and Bayless are traveling to Potosi.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at our district,
I don't get that.
Well, if you look at our district, it's okay. So we're gonna have it at St. Clair. We're gonna have it at Park Hills.
Herky.
We didn't put in for it.
Right.
I know.
And we don't hold enough for class 4 seating. It has to be like 1,000, I think.
I think so.
And I don't think we hold enough.
Right.
Our new gym we will, but this one we don't. And what happened? 3 schools put in. And so since 3 schools put in, it kind of split all the votes.
Right.
And so then we had to revote, and somebody had to break off. So yeah.
Well, and I'll say this, and we're on we've got the girls' side in our district in Class 4 because we got Bayless in our district, we've got Afton in our district, Notre Dame, and we're Ursuline, and then us. We'll be the 2 seed when the meeting. I believe the meeting's on Saturday. But we get a lot of those teams.
He's already calling his seed. He even had the meeting.
No, Ursuline beat us. You know, we're the top 2 teams. Ursuline beat us down at the Washington Tournament Championship, so they'll be the 1. We'll be the 2 seed, and then everybody else.
Ask Chris about thinking you're going to be the seed.
There is nobody within. If we win tomorrow, we'll have 20 wins for I think only the 3rd time in 15 years.
Nice.
Well, hey, Ben did the right thing. He added you to the staff, and look at that.
Hey, my JVs going into our last game next week are 13-8.
Hey,
you're going to have to talk to Ben about increasing that travel budget for your schedule. Now that you've gotten 20 wins.
Yeah, come on, Zach. Come on.
Yeah, you got to start going to Illinois.
Yeah, we got to go to Dupo, Illinois.
Wait a minute. Have you been by Lutheran South? They're building all kinds of stuff. They got all kinds of money.
We got to sign up to play Red Bud over in Illinois. Would that help, Zach?
Years ago, Red Bud was all right, but I don't know.
How about when we go to Teutopolis, Illinois?
I don't know.
I'm just coming up with all these whacked out names.
He's talking about Chris's favorite state.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So, but
so that was our district seating. Nothing surprising there. I mean, Potosi beat Park Hills twice, and they whooped us twice. And
so let me ask you this. All right. We go back to COVID or the year after COVID, when they make the rule that says the better seed is going to host.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we just do that? You do it in football. You do it. You do it.
Well, that's why they changed
that.
That's why they changed the section on the quarters, Zach, in basketball.
So they can do that. Why don't they just do that for districts?
So you're saying best seed,
host.
High seed hosts.
I would have
Bayless would have to come to you first round.
Oh, I'd love that.
Yeah.
With the huddle world, you should be able to get that information to other coaches without having to scout your own, scout own games and be there for those things.
I just don't again. So you have to go travel. What is it? 40 minutes down to Potosi
at least.
Okay, Bayless is going to have to travel an hour.
It's about
hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's about almost 55 minutes for us.
Right. Okay. Now, when you're both 25 minutes away from each other, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Look at that girls' district a few years back, Zach, to where you had Notre Dame and a couple other schools. Then you had Herky, and then you had to go all the way down to freaking St. Jen.
Or
St. Jen. They'll play districts.
Right.
Does anybody find it strangely ironic that Zach is now bitching about teams traveling?
And I was trying not to be the negative Nancy here in the group tonight.
I wasn't going to bring it up, Kevin, but I was thinking the same thing. Well, if you look at St. Genevieve Boys District, and every school in that district is south of St. Jen, and St. Jen is the one hosting. It's like Kennett, Donovan.
Oh, yeah.
All these schools, and they're all coming to St. Jen.
We went over this during softball season with the way districts got split and travel, and there's no rhyme or reason to this. And I don't know.
Well, we talked about it in football. Fayette,
yeah, absolutely.
Fayette
district is like Hayti or something. I mean,
yeah, we did talk about that
or whatever it was. It was something crazy like that.
I don't know. I don't explain to me why you have to have a hub, a school that has to host all of the other schools
for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, same. Yeah, it's the same.
Are the goals different? Like, is it 11 foot?
Well,
one gym,
here's the one thing. Some schools may have shorter floors. Some schools may have shorter courts. Like Jarvis, I think Herky's court's only 84. It's not 96.
Well, it's not.
Pius is shorter. It's not. It's
not
longer
the college,
than 84.
like a union.
Ours is
like
not
union.
the college, but
right.
they don't have to be the college in high school.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be, but now that you're playing on a college floor in the Final Four in the state championships, then you want to be able to play on the bigger floors to get ready.
Well, golly, that would be eliminate so many schools.
Well, they're already eliminating a lot of schools that can't, like you guys, you just mentioned it with the new way that they're doing it, which I really like, but you have to have, capacity. If you don't have, I think, like you said, class 4, I think it's 1,000.
Hey, just do what the Super Bowl does and just charge an arm and a leg and for ticket price.
Well, you're not going to need you don't need 1,000 people like what Zach to defend Zach's argument. We're not going to need 1,000 people for Bayless Herky. You're not going to need that.
No, you're right.
Now, Park Hills,
go ahead, Kevin.
If Park Hills and Potosi make it to the championship, you're going to probably need that many.
Well, I understand. I think what this gets to is like there's a huge difference between what seeding needed for a quarterfinal or a sectional versus a first round district matchup. I don't think they're worried about seeding matchups for that. I think in the sense of Herky not having enough seeding to host a district is the fact that they could have 2 or 3 games that day that they would want enough seeding for 4 schools or 5 schools to be there.
Right.
Versus 4 or 6 schools to be there versus just the 2. If they were just playing the one game, Herky or Bayless coming to Herky to play that one run-around game, I think that there's zero issue with playing it at Herky with less than 1,000 seats because you wouldn't need it.
I don't know that we have less than 1,000.
I
think when Pius won their district championship, we had 1,000 people in that place.
They were hanging off the rafters for that game.
Put a little extra chairs out. That's it. I mean,
that place
put some chairs on the stage. It'll be all good. Make people stand in the hallway doorways, those types of things. As long as the fire marshal doesn't show up, everything's kosher.
That's true. That is a valid point. So, but no, and the other thing too is I like what the state's doing, having the girls play like in the district week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the guys will play Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I think that's a great idea.
Was great.
I think it's a great idea because
I don't say great in state very often.
No, you don't.
Yeah. I do miss and I realize it can't be done everywhere because of the way the districts are split up, but I always did enjoy having the girls guys doubleheader on championship night. because I think that.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Do that all the time.
I don't like the separate places. Like it's gonna make it difficult. It's gonna make it crazy for me because I'm gonna be going to St. John Monday, and depending on when they play, and if they play Monday, which I think they will.
Yep. Our boys and girls have to play. Our boys are playing at Soldan High School, and our girls are playing at
R7, I believe.
At R7. So consecutive nights, our kids are going to be driving.
Well, they obviously don't care about their education. Their students first.
Gee whiz. We're talking 25 minutes, McVey.
I knew it was coming. I knew he was going to say it. He's the biggest disturber on the show.
Are we not entertaining? Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing here. Everything we're supposed to say is just supposed to be for entertainment, for free value.
Zach's the guy that starts the bar fight and then goes to get the car.
On that note, let's take our last break for the evening. When we come back,
Jim is like in a hurry, man. He's like,
no, I'm not. We're
big time's got big places to be.
Yeah, bed.
Is Fox 2 going on the air early tonight or something?
No, I'm old. Bed.
So,
but when we come back, we'll talk a little bit
Wait. I'm stopping you right there. We're old. I got text messages that show from last night that you were up later than 9 o'clock.
I was up later than last night.
Go ahead. And a missed call. Go ahead.
That was a butt dial. It wasn't a missed call.
No, it was a straight up call. It was a straight up call.
I know that guy. That was not a butt dial.
With an accompanying voicemail.
It was a straight up call.
I just sold him out in front of everybody on Facebook Live.
Oh my gosh! All right. When we come back, we'll get everybody's thoughts about the Super Bowl. Talk a little bit about yesterday, and final thoughts on.
Are we going to talk about Andy Reid and Travis Kelce?
Yeah, we are.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I have a feeling I'm going to have a different view than some of you.
No, I think
we're going to talk halftime show.
I think me and you are going to have the same thoughts there, Jason. So we'll get that. We'll get back to that in a second. Let's take a break. When we come back, talk a little bit more. It's the Coach's Box presented by Off the Rails Media.
Oh my gosh!
You're watching it all right here on Facebook and all the other. We'll be right back. Shut up, Jarvis.
Jesus, we can't even get this right.
I'm a parking gate and I'm all out of whack.
Please insert your parking ticket.
It's gonna take a lot more than a little ticket to get out of here. And if you have cut rate car insurance, this could leave you all bent out of shape. No! So get Allstate and be better protected from mayhem. Yeah, like me.
Someone!
That's broken too, pal.
Mayhem is everywhere. Are you in good hands?
Imagine an HVAC as unnoticeable as the air itself. Sounds pretty good, huh? The new Daikin Fit. Air intelligence.
Give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Guys, if you've been in to check out the changes at Casey Buck's Grub and Pub, stop by, check us out. We've got awesome wings. We got great pizza. We got a steak sandwich, a steak salad. Holy cow. We got games. We've got lotto. We've got cold beer. We've got a little bit of everything. Stop by, check us out. Check out the weekly specials. Barbecue, pork steaks, yum. Harold's Market, thank you, my friends. Check us out. We are waiting for you.
Ho!
Where's Jarvis at?
I can tell you, but I cannot say it live on the air. Anyway, welcome back to the Coach's Box, presented by Off the Rails Media. I'm Jim Powers. Yeah, let's get rid of Jarvis. Kevin Halley, Zach McVey, Jason Jarvis. We're trying to get Chris Miller. We did the boys win tonight? By the way, Kevin, have you heard?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they won.
Good. Yep. Another victory. That's 3 this week.
That's 3. It's called a streak. 3 in a row.
3 in a row. That's called a winning streak.
It matches his technical game streak.
That's right. By the way, Maddie Deering with the basketball emoji in her hand. You know, great former athlete down at Herculaneum, checking out the show tonight. So Super Bowl. Okay. Yep. We talked about the commercials. Did any other commercials stick out to you guys? Like I said, the Dunkin' Donuts one for me was the best, far away from everybody else.
Mm-hmm. I like the M&M's one. If I sat back and tried to think and rewatch a couple of it, maybe, but it is not the commercials of yesteryear when Kevin and I were probably in our teens, early 20s.
And I was in my 30s.
You're right.
I am not that much older than you guys.
I'm still the oldest.
Right. Yeah, you're an old fart.
Exactly. That's why it's past my bedtime.
How about Budweiser dropping the ball? Not a good Budweiser commercial. Yeah. Hey, guess what? InBev, you suck. As I look towards the loo.
Okay. I had to remember which one it was, but there was a State Farm commercial.
Oh, get to the top of the Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Like a good neighbor.
Yep.
Type of that one. That one was all right.
Yeah, but
it just was. They weren't like they were before.
No, that one was actually based on USA Today ratings. Was the highest rated commercial from the season.
Really?
There's wow.
Yeah.
There's no Spuds McKenzie. There's just nothing.
The Dunkin'
gotta be
one
too
was
PC anymore. You can't go out and just have you canceled, man.
Why can't you?
You might get canceled.
If I'm a beer selling agency, I'm having someone like, I don't know, Steve Austin on there crushing beer cans on my head or something. I mean, something interesting. That was lame-o.
No, it was boring.
Budweiser normally has.
They've been quiet ever since the Bud Light snafu.
Yeah. They went almost 15 years with having either the number 1 or number 2 commercial rated for each one. Their highest, they were number 8 this year was the commercial, the old school delivery commercial.
Well, that sucked. Bring out some quiet tales. Do something. Be better,
Budweiser normally in years past has always had either 3 or 4 commercials.
Yes, and they've always had the Clydesdales. Always.
Right. This year, 1. And you know why? Because the NFL $7 million for a 60-second commercial ad.
They had to pay for the ad. A lot of these companies had to pay for the ads and then couldn't pay for the production value. Doritos was extremely disappointing to me this year. Normally they have really good ones, and they were extremely disappointing to me.
Right. So
it was the year of the lame commercials.
Yep.
So it's been that way for a while.
Why? Because Jim's right. It costs $7 million just to put it on.
How about the seats? When the players that are in the Super Bowl can't have their families go because the ticket prices are so much, that's a problem. Or when you find out after the fact that basically a lot of those guys, if not most of those guys, are playing that game for free or close to it because
by the
time they pay all of their family for all of the seats, and we're not talking like they're up there in the box. We're talking in the stands.
Brock Purdy's not making a bunch of money.
No,
it's you, a normal person. I'm sorry, a normal people like us okay?
Right.
We can't afford to go to the Super Bowl ever.
No, we can't.
I'm on a mortgage 2 of my vacations or 3 or 4.
Right. I mean, it's so Kansas City wins, and one of the best Super Bowls we're going to see.
Second half.
Second half.
First half.
But if you're a football guy, the first half was a defensive struggle.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had a touchdown if it wasn't for a trick play.
Right. You're right. You're right.
It was not good TV.
Okay. Before we get into the Kelsey Andy Reid thing, before we get there.
So we're going Kelsey Swift.
No, we're going Patrick Mahomes. 3 Super Bowl championships in 5 years as a starting quarterback.
Yep.
Do you 27, if I'm not mistaken, or 28?
I think he's younger than that.
I think he's 20.
So, but do you put him right now on the Mount Rushmore of quarterbacks that have been in the Super Bowl?
He's 28.
Okay, 28.
Is he up there when you're talking about Tom Brady?
The Rushmore,
he's got 3.
the Rushmore
Yes,
Super
he
Bowl
is.
quarterbacks?
There's some people that don't think he should be.
They're stupid.
It's Brady, Montana, Bradshaw, Mahomes.
That's what I would say.
Bradshaw?
He's got 4.
Bradshaw's got 4.
Are you saying because he's a game manager rather than a, flashy?
Listen, I think Purdy did everything he needed to do, and that game manager thing's got to go away. The dude played his butt off, and if it wasn't for a guy by the name of Patrick Mahomes doing what Patrick Mahomes does, they would have won the ball game, hands down.
23.
Whoa. What if he had a head coach that's smart enough to not take the ball? What are you doing? And you see that number 44 for San Francisco didn't even know that if they get the ball. Are you freaking kidding me?
They doubled.
It's come out recently that they didn't know that they weren't aware of the rules of the overtime playoff.
They doubled down on it yesterday with John Lynch and Shanahan. They doubled down on the whole thing, and they backtracked and basically said, well, we kind of knew, but we didn't want to talk to the players about it because we really didn't think it was going to get to that. There's the arrogance of the 49ers.
They had 2 weeks to prepare for the Super Bowl.
That's horseshit.
They went over it in a meeting, is what I think they said.
Because every chief player on that team knew exactly what they wanted, exactly what they were going to do, and it was probably talked about in training camp.
They did. They said they have a overtime session in training camp, both regular season and playoff, where Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time now, puts that stipulation is like, this is what's on the line. This is what's on the line for you guys.
Part of Mahomes coming off the field and Kelsey talking, let him have the ball. Yes. They're all like, are you kidding me?
Because they knew what the hell. Tony Romo didn't even know the stinking rules until they freaking brought in Sterisaur to tell him about it.
Well, that doesn't surprise
Why do you think
me.
Jim Nantz said, Gene, why don't you come in because you know the rules? Yeah, I'm bringing my rules guy in because the announcers didn't know the rules.
But I'm sorry, there's got to be Kyle Shanahan has to have someone on his staff that's in charge of that and that is in his ear and saying, no, coach, we got to do this.
There's a million coaches on staff. You have a get-back coach. And the get-back coach can do that.
And they fire the D coordinator?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
They fired Steve Wilkes today.
Are you kidding me?
You had to do something.
Well, no, you fire Kyle Shanahan. That's who you fire.
You can't do that because Lynch, again, I said it in our group chat.
Yeah,
go ahead.
But what did Steve Wilkes do wrong? What? He led San Francisco to the best record in the NFC.
What did he do wrong? He took the defensive coordinator's job under a head coach that's also the offensive coordinator. So he's never going to find himself.
Not block Kansas City's best pass rusher when you have to block him.
Hey, if you're going to fire a coach, fire the special teams guy who lets, obviously didn't coach him up on returns.
Oh, well, come on.
That hit his foot.
That returner has to yell, Peter.
Yeah,
Peter.
right. You're right.
Everybody in God's green earth that's played football knows what the hell that means.
I know.
And that is all on McLeod or whatever his name is.
Right.
And then don't try to pick it up. You fall on it. What an imbecile.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. You can kick rocks about everything, but I'm sorry, Kansas City. You knew, and I even said, as soon as they kicked that field goal, I basically said, and I think I said it in the group text, Casey's going to win.
Well, you got the block, extra punt or extra point as well.
Yeah.
I mean, again, so if there's a coach that has to go, why is it not the special teams?
I agree 100%.
And I do. I mean, I'm dissing on Kyle Shanahan, but he didn't miss the extra point. He didn't. He didn't.
I'm just simply stating
His
if
player
you had
did,
to let. I don't fire anybody. You went to the Super Bowl. You don't fire anybody.
What are you doing? I mean,
well, that's because that's what this society is.
Yep. Yep. You got to blame somebody.
We have to have someone to blame, and we're not blaming Kyle Shanahan.
Hey, the other problem though is he's not holding himself accountable.
No.
Kevin? What do you say? Deflect. I mean, come on now. You're the head coach.
You say you do like I've done in the past. That's on me.
Yeah.
I didn't have them ready. That's on me.
I didn't have them. That's the line.
That's it.
I did not have them prepared. And then
and we all know they weren't prepared. When that fullback said, "What? If we score, we don't. They get the ball still? Are you kidding me?"
So here's what I'm gonna throw something at you for this topic of discussion. And so what we're saying about Kyle Shanahan now, just this parallel. 2019,
I know what you're doing.
Kyle Shanahan lost in the Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator.
Atlanta Falcons.
Yep.
Yes. Lost in 2021 in the NFC Championship game, lost in 2022 in the NFC Championship game, and lost in 2023 in the Super Bowl.
And 2 of those were by 10 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Are we saying the same thing, or were they saying the same thing in 2005 about Andy Reid? Because Andy Reid in 2001 lost in the NFC Championship game, lost in the NFC Championship game in 2022, or in 2002, lost in it in 2003, and lost the Super Bowl in 2004.
But what happened?
There's parallel. He eventually won it.
But what happened?
Are we going to give?
He went in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah.
So,
but we're talking.
I don't know if there's
no way in the world Shanahan will ever win a Super Bowl. Is the way that we are talking now.
I mean, I think San Francisco is going to get back to another Super Bowl sooner than later. I mean, you look at how rotten the NFC is, because you got Dallas that can't win a playoff game to save their lives. You know, the Rams,
and they keep keeping that coach, and that coach keeps his job. What
exactly?
In the world?
Listen, I'm telling you right now, it's the 49ers and it's Detroit.
For
the next few years.
What, you're not going to put Philly in there?
Nope.
That's not under Sirianni.
Too much
I am not a Sirianni
right now. Sirianni, I think Sirianni, and I think I'm going in the same direction as you, Kevin. I think Sirianni showed his true coaching chops at the end of the season this year. I don't know if they can make it back with him as the head coach.
And if Jason Kelce retires, they lose the center of that offensive line, which has been one of their strengths.
He's going to retire.
Yeah.
So
I want him to go to the Chiefs.
He is.
Dave is right.
Yeah, he is.
Green Bay they look good.
Jordan Love
turned out to be a really I hate it when Jarvis is right.
You hear that, Dave? He hates when. Hey, you know what? Then you hate a lot of things because we're right a lot.
All right,
let's get used to it. Damn it!
Elephant in the room. Kelce, Andy Reid. I'm going to give you my take, and then we'll go around. Listen, the optics were horrible, absolutely 100% horrible. But you've got a player, and for one thing, Tony Romo was actually right about was the play.
I'm laughing at my brother.
This one usually is,
Yeah.
You know, the play. You know, it was correct. The backup tight end was in the game when the turnover happened, and it wouldn't have happened.
He missed the block.
Okay, so I get where Travis is going. You just can't bump into the head coach. You could jaw at him all you want. They're professional athletes. They're you know, I don't mind the jabber jawing so much. The bump, I kind of got taken aback a little bit. But also, what people have to remember: these guys are playing for their livelihoods. They're allowed to be a little bit emotional. They're allowed to do those. And most coaches, now what Dan Campbell said was absolutely priceless about the whole situation. Basically saying if somebody would ever do that to me, they wouldn't be up off the ground for 10 years. It was kind of something like that. And Dan Campbell would do it.
Right.
But I don't have an issue with the one part of it. I wish he wouldn't have bumped him. And I love that his brother called him out on their podcast on it yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought that was absolutely terrific that Jason called Travis out. And Travis, I think.
Yeah, but he defended Travis too.
Well,
he defended him. Travis owned that the optics of it weren't good and that he shouldn't have done it and that he caught him off guard. But he goes, I got caught in the moment. I was emotional.
Sure.
I was wanting to play. And it's with a man. He goes, and it happened with Coach Reed, who I love immensely.
Sure.
And I felt the ability to be safe to do it. If it doesn't have that way, if he doesn't have that relationship with Andy Reid, I don't think he does that.
Well, and they, again,
I got to. You guys go ahead. I'm gonna go last take on this.
That's fine. Okay, and again,
was I close at least, Jarvis?
Very,
in my take,
very.
So I think there's two sides to this coin. Talking about it listening to it on the radio. You know, what sport are they playing? They're playing a contact collision sport. It's a warrior sport. Literally, you are trying to assault someone on the other side. It is super difficult,
and you get away with it.
So you put yourself in that mindset,
Football.
and then you come off of the sideline. It is super difficult. You can't flip that switch. They're human beings too, so I get that part. Again, it's the Super Bowl. It's all of that. However, I don't think the behavior. I don't think that is professional. Because that's still your job. We couldn't do that to our boss. Okay? Right. Even though, yes, you are a human being, you are playing that type of game. That's not something that I think should be allowed. Now, again, Andy Reid, you talk about a dude that handled it perfectly.
Oh, without a doubt.
Andy Reid handled the situation with grace, with class, because he's an elder statesman in the game, so he understands it. A younger coach may not. He might have flipped the lid or whatever.
Dan Campbell.
And so it was bad form. I think everybody did the apologies and did everything necessary maybe to clean it up. It's just tough because it is an emotional situation. Had he not been bumped, I don't know if he's just in his ear.
Yeah.
Because
it's not that big of a deal.
Right. They win. Now here's the other thing. They win. Everything's hunky-dory. If they lose, that's all you hear about for the next 3 weeks.
Let me bring one point up. And Zach, you just mentioned about the helmet slamming.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're going to bust chops on this, then we need to start busting chops for every baseball player that strikes out, that slams his helmet down to the ground or throws the bat down to the ground. We got to get the professional golfers. If they miss a putt, they throw the ball into a lake or something. Okay, so you cannot have the double standard with it. So if you're going to go down that road with Kelsey saying it was bad, which then you better start busting chops on baseball players and every other professional athlete that does something like that, because you're being a hypocrite if you don't. Go ahead, Jarvis. You're up.
Kevin, did you get to talk?
Oh, Kevin, did you get to talk? I'm sorry.
So I know I said something earlier. I do agree with what Ron Rhodes said on this. I don't think there's zero place for this in the game. I understand why it happened. I don't think that there's a place for it, and it shouldn't have happened in the first place. I'm glad that the two of them, the two most important parts here, were able to get through it and past it. And you're right, Andy Reid handled it absolutely perfectly. Travis Kelce, I really wish he could go back in time and it not happen in that moment. But there's zero places for that to happen.
And if it's any other dude,
he wanted to get his point across. If it was anybody else, it wouldn't have. The kid would have been in the locker room.
No.
Go ahead, Jarvis.
No.
Jarvis has been biting his tongue. So, Jason Jarvis.
First off, the zero.
Yes, David.
Yes, David, we know that.
I'm going to get to that point too. There is zero reasons for this behavior. Zero. I'm not condoning the behavior. The behavior was wrong.
Right.
What happened was wrong. But I have problems with people that have no idea what playing on a football field does in the moment of it happening. Like, I'm no offense, Ron. How many football games have you ever played in your life? I want to know. I don't know how many you have. I don't know if you ever have. I don't know that any of you guys played football. I don't know. Anyone on here play football?
I will say, and I'll not
And
to
I
interrupt
coached.
Jason, but I will say, as like, I 100% agree with you. I haven't been there in that position to know what that would be like in that position. I can only speak from my experience of having never been part of it.
I've seen worse than what he did to Andy Reid done coach to coach or player to player or player to coach in high school and in college. And not a thing was done, not a thing was said. I'm not saying it was right. This was the Super Bowl, so everyone saw it. Andy Reid also said, in another thing, that he turned he turned into it right when Travis came up.
He did.
But Travis, he should never touched him. I don't think Travis meant to touch him. Really,
I don't think so.
I don't think so, but it still happened.
Yes, it still happened, and I don't think people understand. Who knows? I mean, I'm gonna sound like I'm making excuses, but how many? I bet he slept 4 hours before that game, if that. People don't understand the pressure of everything else that not only Andy Reid, but also that Travis Kelce has went under. I just, by saying he should be kicked out of the league, he should never play football again, all that. Well, good point. They had to show it, which is fine. The cameras caught it. They didn't catch a couple minutes later or whatever it was when him and Andy Reid squashed it.
They caught it. They don't show
but
it.
They didn't show it because the liberal media, because the media is not going to show that. They want this. They want what is going on right now. And what ticks me off
Zach.
is all these people have no idea what it means to play sports, has no idea the time, the blood, the sweat, the tears, all the sacrifices. They're making millions of dollars. Don't get me wrong. But I watched just today, Pat Beverly on his show. How many birthdays they miss? How many holidays they miss? This is everything. And everything was on the line. And dude, it was wrong. I agree. It was wrong. But I understood it. I understood why he was mad. I understood. I've had relationships with some of my coaches that I could have went up to and yelled like he did. Would I have bumped him? No.
I don't think he meant that.
And that's what it just sucked. It was on the Super Bowl.
The optics of everything.
Yeah.
And again,
I just don't like all these people lashing out that have no clue. Right. You have no clue.
You've never been a
game. It's just a game. It's just this. It's just that. That's what irritates me. Mad.
What irritates me, and we all have seen Hard Knocks. We all know what people don't understand, and there's people that are making these comments. They don't understand. If you're on an NFL coaching staff, you're there at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and you're lucky to get out of there by 10, 11 o'clock at night. Players.
In some coaches, if you go
home. Most coaches have couches in their office.
Well, and if you know Andy Reid and his relationship, they've jumped up and belly bumped each other, and they have and so
it's that report. Now I want to piggyback.
I do believe it was wrong. I'm not saying that.
Now there's only one person. There's only one person in this entire world that it should have mattered to. And that's Andy Reid. That's it. And if he was okay with it and wasn't that big a deal. Now, maybe he is, but he said the right thing publicly, and maybe he had a conversation with Kelce behind closed doors. Again, I think he handled it the right way. But for all of us to sit here and judge, it didn't happen to us. We can have our opinions on it, But
Right.
if it didn't matter to Andy, then at the end of the day, okay, it happened to him. He didn't
Dude,
care.
I mean, I've had one of my best players get in my face and yell at
Right.
me before.
Yeah.
And he didn't bump me, but he
Right.
got in my face and screamed at me just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't kick him off the team. We had a conversation, and that was it.
Right.
Well, it is okay. Pause here and differentiate, Jarvis, because is it competition? Is it heat of the moment? Is it the battle? Then you probably are okay with it. Is it, I'm questioning you. I'm questioning your ability as a coach. I think what you're doing is absolutely wrong. I don't think you know your butt from a hole in the ground. That's a different interaction.
And even though I hate, and it was Travis Kelce and all this Swift and Kelce and all that magnified all these people to sit there and just rail them because of it.
Right. So, and David, the reason they showed and that, you know what? I mean, here's the thing. I've been on broadcasts and things like this. And Kevin,
see you later.
Left.
Internet, I guess.
I understand. Well, if he lost the internet, that means we're all completely kicked out because he's running a doggone show.
Does that mean we're gone? No,
we're live.
There. We're on there. We're live.
But you know, once again, it happened, and they're going to show it. Now, once again, if CBS doesn't show it, I guarantee you there's 550,000 videos that people took in the stands. It would have been plastered all over social media. So it was going to get shown anyway. But I agree, it should have been, when they had the conversation and squashed it, it should have been brought up there. And once again, it would have gave Motormouth Tony Romo something to talk about other than the senseless whatever in killing such a terrific end to a football game the way he did and just rattling on for flipping 29 seconds.
Well, now if you want to put a bow on this and try to make this right, what Kelce could do is that now, obviously, with what has happened in Kansas City, everything's a moot point now. But he could go and have a conference and sit down and he could say, "Listen, and this is to everybody. What I did was wrong, kids. What I did was wrong. I apologize for it. And we can move on." Oh, look who it is. John Kreese, you're up. What's up, man?
Hey, his turn to chime in on it.
No. What? Because we're almost done. You're too late. Thanks for playing. Have a nice day.
Hey, Jim, this is the coach's box.
Hey, when you're on the show more than 2
times.
Chris,
what?
No. He's got a point. He's got a point.
He's got a point. He does have.
He's got another point. Plus, you're not an
Hold on.
original OG.
Hey,
you're not
hold on.
OG.
I'm on the ones and twos. I can fix this, I think.
Oh, here we
I
go.
can't figure out how to mute him there. How's that? There we go.
Oh, man.
Try it now, Jim. Can you hear me? Can we hear you?
I can hear
That
nobody.
didn't work out.
No, Chris, congratulations on 3 wins this week, bud.
Yeah, it was a long week.
Who did you guys play tonight?
We played Dupo tonight, and something pretty awesome actually happened today. Our girls had a makeup game with Arcadia Valley that they played.
I saw someone score 1,000.
And then our JV boys played and our varsity boys played. Both teams played Dupo. And BJ Crodinger, one of our girls players, and Patrick Flanagan, one of my points on the same day. So,
both of them, awesome.
Well, that's going to be shout-outs tomorrow.
So
that's going to make shout-outs tomorrow. Text me their names, Chris, and I'll make sure I work them into the shout-outs tomorrow night.
Gotcha. I'll definitely do that. But yeah, we played 3 games this week. It was a long week. So
I got 3 games next week, so I'll fill you next week, I guess.
Yep.
Hey, don't let it fool you.
No,
they were all home games.
They were all home?
Yeah.
I caught telling what you guys were saying. I mean, it's a bad look for Travis Kelce to bump his coach. And I mean, I heard that, I listened to the part where Jason Kelsey was kind of calling them out on their podcast. I mean, it's not something that you want to be seen on national television and probably the most televised event. So
it was.
I don't think he should have done it. And I know that him and Andy Reid have a relationship that's a little different. And I know Andy Reid diffused it very well, I thought, in the media. But as far as that's concerned, he probably shouldn't have done it. I mean, it is what it is. You are an example, whether you like it or not, to this youth and this generation. And I think if one of my players bumped me, there's a good chance that that will never happen again.
Yeah, but you can't compare. I'm sorry, you can't compare high school to this.
I 1,000% agree. But you also have kids who think when they see that it's okay because they're
agree.
playing the same sport. So I know you can't compare because these are grown men. But you are, whether you like it or not, you example to youth that are watching, and it wasn't a good look. It just wasn't. I get it. You're competitive. It's a moment. But no.
Totally agree.
Yep.
But and I said that in my defense of him that it was not a good look. It's not. Yeah. But I understood it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm on my way back home. So I just wanted to pop in and say hi and let everybody know about those two kids. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye-bye
now. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chris Miller, who's still here.
Still trying to figure out how to turn this off and drive.
There
he just did. Oh, shoot. So, well, what a way to kind of put a bow on that conversation as we start to wrap up the show. But
boy, Ron Rhodes might be a bigger disturber than you.
Who, me or Zach?
Zach.
He's had more practice.
I'm going to tell you right now, me and my dad had a great relationship, and I've probably done worse than just bump him. So,
yeah.
And I'm still here alive to tell you, Ron. I mean,
now Chris's dad?
You don't
know. You don't know.
I didn't. Dave's right. I would have, but that's coming from. Oh my God. You really, Dave? You want to air some stuff out, boy?
Hey, this is a family show.
I was gonna say,
just not the Jarvis family.
I was gonna say, I've seen you and Dad roll on the floor before. I don't want to hear it. Back in your young days, he's the reason why I could never do anything. Right there. Could I spend the night? No. Why not? Nope. He ruined it for me.
He ruined it all.
Ron, I didn't say it was okay, dude. I said I understood.
Yes.
I played.
None of us said it was okay. We said we understood.
I didn't say it was okay. I understood, and I think people blew it out of proportion.
So wait a second. You mean to tell me it's not a simple black and white issue? There's gray.
Yes, there is a lot of gray area here. Yeah.
So wait, we don't have to redline one way or the other.
No.
In this country, we can actually kind of be in the middle.
Maybe we can do that on the coach's box, but in our country, I don't know. The country, that's a big question. And I say that as a history teacher, but I mean, it just. And that's the other thing. People are wanting to take this into places where it doesn't need to go.
Right.
And people, this is what ticks me off about anything that happens. Why does it have to go to the race thing? And it always does. And this situation has nothing to do with that. It shouldn't even have it. And my God, I just think it's being blown way out of proportion.
I agree 100%. So, well, guys, anything else that we would like to chit chat about this evening?
Well, hey, I gonna say Chris and I were talking. We're gonna have some good debatable topics the next time that all five of us can get together. And we've been discussing about things like trying to get some sponsors and trying to get some oldies, trying to get some newbies, things like that. Trying to get maybe some opinions from the peanut gallery and our watchers and viewers. And so we'll kind of tease that.
Are you calling our viewers the peanut gallery?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, they're huh? You don't think so?
Nah.
Well, okay. Jarvis is.
Ron Rhodes. I was going to say Jarvis.
Thank you.
Hey, Jarvis and Ron Rhodes is definitely the peanut guy. In his 50th year of coaching basketball up there, wherever he's at, yeah, he's a peanut guy.
Wow.
But we've got some stuff in the works here, I'd say, for the future. Oh my god!
He calls it like you see.
Yes, hey, he does.
Hey,
so
hey.
By the way, if you want to see the comments, you've got to check out the
he's
comments.
Not little Pitty. He's not a little Pitty. He's not a little peanut.
No, not even close.
Oh my god, Bruce gave me so much crap about that.
Oh jeez.
That was one of my best ones right there, I think.
Well, on that note, since Zach's called everybody the peanut gallery, and so let's get on out of here. We will be back next week. We'll figure out what night, obviously, with last week of the regular season for everybody and all that fun stuff. So check out all of our social media. We'll let you know when we're going to be on next week. Probably Thursday night, if I had to guess.
That would be a good guess for me. Thursday night. I like it.
So
if Chris can't be on here, maybe you could be on here 2 weeks in a row. I doubt it.
I'm planning on being on 2 weeks in a row. Thank you.
How much money you got? I know how you pay your bets anyway, but how much money you got?
I know I still eat milkshake. Shut up, Jarvis. Anyway, next Thursday night we'll be right back at it. For all the boys, for Chris Miller, for David Jarvis, and for Ron Rhodes, we want to thank those guys for tuning in. But we want to thank you for checking us out, too. This has been the Coach's Box. Call it like we see it, episode 177, presented by Off the Rails Media. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
This episode of the Coach's Box, Call It Like We See It podcast is brought to you by Off the Rails Media. Life's more fun when you're off the rails.